So Mark, it's 23 degrees outside. You picked a great day to bring the players back in for their first training session.
No, that's right. Yeah, usually on the first day of pre-season, the sun usually comes out. So no change today, but looking forward to getting back working with the players. I think the players are looking forward to getting going again. It's important that we have a good pre-season period together, and I think it's come around pretty quickly. Obviously a lot of negotiations with players, and it certainly doesn't seem like 8 weeks since our sort of we finished last season. So, but pre-season's always a good time. It's a chance to sort of get everyone back together and get working again, and we're certainly looking forward to it.
And obviously it's been quite an interesting summer really. We've been south, then we went north and then south again. How has that affected your preparations?
Yeah, I don't think it's affected us too badly. One thing that I wanted to try to do was keep hold of the majority of the squad from last season, because I didn't feel as though we were a million miles away. Yes, we finished in mid-table, but I felt that there was progression there, and I wanted to try and keep a bit of continuity. And when I went through all of the players individually, I felt that we had a reasonable group. So, the idea was to try and keep the group together and improve on what we've done. And I think that's important. Sometimes you can perhaps be a little bit hasty and release players, and you actually get players in and you think, well, are they that much better than what we already had? So, I think I've been pretty loyal to the group, and I hope that's repaid for the club this year. But I believe in the group, and it's something that we wanted to keep together. In terms of did that affect us a little bit with the changing of leagues, I think initially it caused us one or two problems. Particularly with the likes of Joe Ostler, and who obviously lives on the south coast. I think with us going in the North Division, Joe, we had to speak to Joe. We had to sort of, have quite a few meetings with Craig King as well about various things, and perhaps, there was a few sort of more headaches for us than if we would have just known we'd be in the South right from the start. But we got the call eventually, that we had planned it to be in the North, and we'd got our heads around that. But we then had a call a couple of weeks ago saying that we'd been moved back in the South, and I think it's much better for us logistically. Far less travelling. Would have been good to experience different challenge and playing against different teams, but I think all of the players are certainly pleased that we are in the South, and it does certainly make it easier for the lads that are based in and around the London area and on the South Coast. Yeah.
Speaking of Joe Oster particularly, you must have been absolutely thrilled that he decided to stay with us, even if we were going north.
Yeah, Joe, enjoys playing here. We've got a good relationship. Obviously you have a close relationship with the captain, and I think Joe has been excellent since he's been at the club, and I enjoy working with him. And he was a player that we were desperate to keep, and I think Joe was going to commit even if we was going to be in the North. So that says a lot about him and what he feels about the club. So but yeah, looking forward to working with Joe again. And as I say, we've done pretty well to retain the vast majority of the squad from last year.
And obviously we've still got a few weeks to go before the start of the season. Is there any more transfer news heading our way, do you think?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing an awful lot, Patrick. I've sort of, with the group that we've got, we obviously brought in Nana Owusu, Daniel Rowe, Stephen Brown to our forward line. I don't think we've sort of got an awful lot of room, to be bringing plenty of other players in. Yeah. I am still looking I do think we need some more defenders. We obviously have only really got Joe Ostler and Tariq Morazil as centre halves. Ben Jefford can obviously play in there. So I think we're looking, for another defender, possibly a centre half or a left back that, if Ben Jefford tucks inside, have we got someone else can play left back or, so we're looking for another defender. I think so we've got some trialists coming in throughout the pre-season phase that have, that we've been keeping an eye on. So I'm hoping one or two of those come off. But apart from that, I don't think we're looking to do a great deal else, to be honest. And like I say, because I've sort of chosen to stick with the group from last year. But we are going to be looking to improve on last year. We're not happy finishing in mid-table. I believe that the group that we'll eventually put together, should progress on last year. The club, to be fair, have given me a very, very competitive budget, and I think that we should be sort of improving on our mid-table finish. Now, I don't want that to sort of, put too much pressure on ourselves before we even start, but, I do back this group, and I think there's potential there to move forward this year. So, but that's easy to say, that type of thing. At this time of year, there's an awful lot of optimism around, the clubs will be all thinking the same, that this is going to be their year. But you've got to obviously do it on the pitch, and that's what we'll be building ourselves up throughout pre-season, working towards our 11v11s, trying to get the patterns of play right. Obviously trying to build some team spirit as well with a few of the new lads coming in. So I do place a lot of importance on pre-season. It's not when the season gets started, in August, I think we'll probably play 8 games, certainly 7 in August. So you don't often get the chance to do an awful lot of training, when the season starts, because of the sheer amount of games all of the time. So the pre-season is a chance for us to embed some of our ideas and get that into the players. So we hopefully will use the time wisely.
And lastly, on the player front, I mean, obviously we've not seen Cabby move anywhere yet. So you're hopeful that there might be the slight chance he might come back?
Yeah, I think we were sort of slightly more hopeful a few days ago, but I think perhaps there has been a couple of developments on that. I think he is close to agreeing sort of deals with a club sort of in the league above, and I think I would at this moment as we speak, starting pre-season, I would say it's highly unlikely that we'll see him with Oxford City next year. There's always a small chance, but I think that it looks like he will be moving on. But obviously, if he does, we like to thank him for his efforts last year. I mean, 37 goals and some memorable moments that he gave us. And obviously, when a player at 21 years of age scores that many goals and has the impact he did, there's always going to be teams, alerted to that, and everybody wants goal scoring centre forwards, and we always thought it would be a challenge to keep hold of him, and he's obviously got ambitions to try and play as high as he can, which we understand. So I think it's highly unlikely we'll see Cabby, but I'm confident. Steph Brown, I know his goal scoring last year at Wealdstone, he had a bit of a stop-start season with his injury, but I think he might sort of give us some experience, and also he works, he's relentless with his work rate, he can hold the ball, he's good in the air, and gives us that little bit of experience as well. I mean, you can't have a whole team full of 21 and 22 year olds, and I think last year perhaps one of the things we perhaps thought we'd lacked at certain periods was a little bit of experience and a little bit of know-how, but I think we are good age. We've got a lot of 25, 26 year olds, so we're not like young kids. So I think we're a good age. The players have had good experience in the league now, and I'm expecting us to kick on as a group. And we've also got the young Craig Fassinmaid that I do see as a central striker. I know he's played a lot out wide for us, but I've got a lot of time for Craig. He's got good movement, good pace, and he's intelligent, and I think I'd like to sort of give Craig back in like we did with Adoka. We gave him a chance, and look what happened with him. So I've got a lot of faith in Craig. I know sort of people might think, oh crikey, we've lost our 37 goal striker, and who are we going to replace him with? But you've got to have, we watched the players train. I've watched Craig develop, and as I say, Stefan as well. I'm sure is going to do well for us. So let's hope that works out.
Yeah. And obviously it's all changing the dugout as well. We got Andy Ballard coming in as assistant manager, and Ross Jenkins as well. Are you happy how your dugout's looking?
Yeah,
as well?
really pleased. Both good guys, both good coaches. Andy's obviously got a great affinity with the club, having played well over a couple of 100 games for Oxford. Local lad as well. Oxford City is his club really, and Andy's done very well at Didcot, and he's had some experience as a manager, and he's very keen to sort of do help us here and do well at Oxford. And Ross has obviously had a good career in the game, a little bit closer to the players in age. You know, played 80 odd games in the Championship. You know, so that experience will be invaluable. And I'm really pleased to have those two guys working with me. I would like to sort of say, you know, thank you to my previous staff. You know, obviously, you know, Joe, we know, went halfway through the season, but Steve Glenister as well. You know, has been great for me the last couple of years. So I'd like to thank him. Thank him, and also Justin came and you know, when Joe left and provided great support. You know, obviously him having managed the club as well. You know, so it was great that those guys stepped up. But I think we did need to perhaps, you know, get that sorted, because Justin's obviously extremely busy trying to sort of run the club, and with, you know, it was hard for him to sort of commit totally. And obviously Steve was moving on as well. So it's important we got the staff right, because for myself as the manager, I need to feel very comfortable with the people around me and the staff, and you know, that's very important. Michaela's going to stay on as physio as well. We've introduced a kit man this year to support obviously Ryan Girton does the goalkeepers and numerous other things around the club, but you know, Phil Duffy's going to come on board and help out with, you know, making sure we're fully prepared with the equipment and the kit and that type of thing. So we're trying to add little bits in on the staffing, you know, to make us more professional. But it's a time of optimism pre-season, time for us to work with the players, and you know, I'm happy with what we've done so far, and let's hope that we can hit the ground running.
So is there any chance we might see Andy on the pitch at all this season?
He's been doing a little bit of training. Yeah, I think he's only 33, 34. I must admit, I thought he was a bit older than that. I've just turned 40, so there's no chance of me getting out there. But no, Andy, no, I don't think so, no. I think unless we're extremely desperate, you know, but Andy's now fully focused on the coaching side of things. And, you know, let's hope we don't need to use him as a player.
And then finally, anyone you fancy on the opening day in the league? Yeah,
I think you know, I think ideally it's nice to be at home. We had a home fixture, didn't we, last year, home to Eastbourne. Whether we know that means this year will be away, I don't know. But I think, you know, anyone at home really, you start. I mean, there's going to be some big teams in the league this year. I mean, I think you know, going to be sort of, you know, big hitters. You know, from what I'm seeing, you know, obviously Maidstone's a big club at this level. And you've got, you know, I mean, Hemel seem to be sort of signing a lot of players, and you know, I could go through everybody, I suppose, you know, so everybody's strengthening. You know, we know it's going to be tough, but you know, I'm looking for us to progress. You know, I want us to improve on last year, as I keep saying. You know, of course, we want to do well in the FA Cup again. That's always important for, you know, non-league clubs to try and maximise that competition. But we want to be competing on all fronts. And I think if there's one slight disappointment in my sort of time here as the manager, you know, we haven't really been competing in and around those playoff positions. Now, you know, I think there are reasons for that, you know, but you know, I would like to try and take this group of players, you know, close to those playoffs, and I think that's an area we should be looking at, you know. But as I said, that's easier said than done, and every club is strengthening, and every team will be a challenge. So, but that is our aim, and let's see how we get on.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Mark, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you throughout pre-season again.
Thank you.